Alright guys, what's going on? So today I just want to do a quick review of a great product that I recently bought. This is basically a micro four third camera, but it's not actually a full-blown mirrorless camera. It's actually a kind of portable and action camera that you can use with your micro four third lenses, or if you have meta bones probably you could use that, but definitely doesn't make sense if you use some kind of a big lenses on it. Probably you can actually go with the Panasonic or Olympus pancake lens, which are basically very small. So this is a camera which I'm speaking about. This is a Zcam E1, which I bought used for about like uh, roughly $170. It actually retails about 250 approximately on B&H Photo right now, and the actual retail price of this product is like $600 uh, on some of the websites. So probably they give this for a very discounted price, probably because the sales aren't so great as the guys have expected. But basically this is a pretty good micro four third mini micro four third camera that you can use in some situations. But before we even get into the conclusions, let me tell you, probably this isn't the best micro four third camera that you can get at this point of time, because there's some issues with the codecs of this camera, because probably they haven't written it in a very high bitrate codec, so you will see some issues when you actually try recording some videos with it. So before we even get into that, let's actually unbox it and see how it looks and what are the benefits, what are the accessories it comes with, and the other stuff. So one good thing about this is that they basically give you two set of batteries. That's a pretty good appreciation, I would say, because no other manufacturer basically does that. They don't keep two batteries at a time, they just gave maximum of one battery, but these guys generally gave two. And here are a few of the specs of this camera. I'll just read out them for you. So it's 4K UHD recording, so that's what it's actually written there, and ultra fast single focus, and full micro four third lenses compatibility, and Wi-Fi Bluetooth 4.0 enabled, and it's a 16 megapixel, so that's pretty good. And one more good thing about this is that it actually gives you like 4K cinema recording with this small camera. That's a pretty good option. Like it's 4096 into like 2160 approximately, so which is actually what the Panasonic cameras can record, and that's a pretty good option. It's not like UHD, it's like cinema 4K, which you basically find in the Panasonic GH5 and GH4, and this guy can actually provide that output straight away. So that's a pretty good feature that I appreciate this guys for providing that in the camera. So these are the specs. So let's actually unbox this, and we'll see what all accessories it comes with and the overall appearance. So the layout is pretty good. I mean, this is just like the outer cover. Let's put it aside, we don't need that. So this is the box uh, in which the camera comes in. So this is the logo, probably if you're able to see, that's the logo of the Z camera, guys. So let's open this up. All right, so let me assemble them. So this is how the setup looks like. I mean, there's a camera on the one side, and the cable, the battery charger, and the battery itself on this side. So let me just pull them out one by one, and basically I'll show you how they look. So this is a 2000 milliamp battery which actually powers the camera. So there's two of this provided in the box. One is actually in the camera. So this is how it looks. So this is like 2000 milliamps, 7.4 watts. That's very small, but still good. And this is a charger which it comes with. Basically it's like just a travel charger, but the ports which actually they gave it is like international, so you can use European and Asian as well as the US standard of port as a wall charger. So that's good from this Z camera, guys. So let's actually bring out the camera itself. Alright, so this is the camera which we are actually interested in. This is the camera body itself. Isn't it so tiny? It actually looks as if it's a GoPro, but it's a micro four third sensor based camera. So that's a pretty good option, and you can get some good dynamic range videos out of your Cam Z camera, probably comparing to what the GoPro basically does. So it's a pretty good option, and you can use an action camera with a interchangeable lens. What else do you need? So let's keep this aside for a second. Let's actually see what all other accessories it comes with. So one good feedback I would definitely try giving the Z camera, guys, is that these edges are pretty sharp, and I actually had a cut on my nail just because of these edges. So make sure if you're getting this camera, try to pull them very easily, or else you may cut your hand, as how it has happened with me. So this is, I believe, the European standard way. So yeah, this is a European standard. So let's keep it aside. And this is the Asian style adapter which basically it comes with, and the other one is basically the US based. So this is the one which I'll be using right now. So the way you plug it in is quite simple. You just have to slide it in this way and rotate it. I'm pretty much scared right now to actually even twist this because it already damaged my finger pretty seriously. Let's actually, how do we put it in? Alright, so this is how we basically plug it in, and if you want to unplug it, just rotate it and pull it out. This way the wall plug comes out. So let's put them aside and let's actually look into our cameras, how it looks, what is the GUI of it, what kind of menu it has and all stuff. So powering this on is quite simple. So there's a small button here which you actually have to press for a few seconds, and your logo will start up here. That means basically your camera is booting up. The camera boot up is quite fast and not so slow as well. If you just bought the camera for the first time and it's not with the latest firmware, then probably do a firmware upgrade. That will fix major of the issues, and which are pretty good as well. So the camera actually works in two ways. First is the in a picture mode, and the second one is basically in the video recording mode. Alright, so right now we will just try to explore the various menus and options in the Z camera, which are pretty much helpful when you're actually recording some video. The layout of this camera is pretty much small because they cannot physically place a lot of buttons on the camera. So the layout is actually pretty minimalistic. So you have only 5 buttons that you can use to customize your camera. So the first one is mode. So basically this is nothing but when you actually wanted to switch from the video recording to some photo mode. So that can be actually done with the mode. And there's something called as function button. I didn't customize it basically, but you can actually customize it with whatever features you want. It's presently synced up as the regular function button, wherein it can change the mode from the movie mode to a different mode. That is quite expected because I didn't customize it, so probably you can do that. And the next things are basically the arrow up and down button. So if you wanted to change some settings, you actually have to do that from this. There's no touch screen on this, so probably you cannot use it as the main source to change all these things. So here we have few settings that probably are pretty much small, pretty much minimal, but I think it can almost do the work what you need. So the first one is basically the ISO. If you wanted to change the ISO settings on the camera, you can actually change it right away from here. It's just like how a modern camera is, but the approach is very minimalistic and it's not as high as we expect, but it's actually pretty much good. The second one is the exposure. So if you want to change the exposure settings, you can do that. And the third one is basically the focus area, like where you want to focus if you're using the autofocus mode. Fourth one is basically the manual focus assist. So this is basically when you wanted to zoom in and see what focus it is. So for example, if I'm using a manual lens like this, probably like the current setup that I'm using, which is a Nikon 24mm f1.4 lens. So that's when I can actually go here and change the focus. I mean, it's just like the focus peaking option, but it's like zoomed in. It's like the fifth option. Basically, this is where you can actually go and change the menus internally. So let's press it. So here's where you can actually change few of the settings. So by default I was actually using 4K 30p. You can actually go 4K 24p, and this is what I was speaking about, 4096. This is a cinema 4K and it's at 24 frames per second. That's a pretty good option. And you have something with the 2160, that is 2K, which is 4:3 aspect ratio, and similarly 24 frames and rest all stuff. So this is a pretty good device, because this all menus in regards to the videos are actually seen on high-end cameras like the Panasonic Lumix GH5, but I don't know how these guys were able to nail it pretty good. But yeah, I'll speak about the drawbacks maybe after some time, but right now let's concentrate on the menu subsystem. So that was it. Let's go back and go to the other settings. This is the image settings, and here you can actually change the white balance, the tint, the max ISO, the mastering mode, the brightness, the sharpness, the saturation, contrast, LUT. So this also has LUT. That's a pretty good thing. Let's actually see what option we have in LUT. Yeah, so by default, as how the Panasonic Lumix GH5 has a B-log, these guys have enabled something called as Z-log, using which you can actually get some better dynamic range videos out of this guy. That's a pretty good thing. Let's actually go back. And the last one is basically where you can actually connect it with your phone by enabling the Wi-Fi, and you can also enable the Bluetooth. You can format the memory card and the file numbering format, the LCD brightness, flicker reduction, stabilizer, grid display, LED on. That means basically a light will blink when you're actually recording anything. Electronic level, HDMI, OSD, HDMI format, odd, live view, beep, a function button. So this is where you can actually customize your function button. So I will probably select settings. So if I press Fn, it takes me to the settings. It's just like how you can normally format or change the default settings of your camera for a specific function button. So this was it, guys. This was the Zcam E1. Probably I will record some videos with it straight out of the box. So with that, I would just like to end this video, guys. Probably if you have any questions, try asking them in the comments. I'll definitely try to answer them. And yeah, just subscribe so that you can get the next video notification straight out to you on your YouTube app. So for now, I would like to end this video, guys. Take care, and bye bye. See you.